Alright guys, we are going to look at this particular mind map, which is prepared based on the ACCA article from the website. Okay, so as you know that APM from September 2020 onwards, there are new syllabus being added in, which is discussing about Internet of Things and also artificial intelligence process automation. So the objective of this particular video is to cover those areas. All right. So now let's have a look at them. So the very first one is process automation. So basically, what is process automation? Refers to business processes being performed by machines. Okay, now this is no longer, it's not really something new, all right? It's been there for quite a while. Okay, so it's basically looking at processes, that are previously being carried out by human, which are now being replaced by machine. So we find that a lot of manufacturing, or even service industry, we are moving towards that direction. Okay, so basically, what type of business, all right, is suitable for automation? So those processes which are repetitive in nature, basically these are the one where process automation will be suitable. Now this is because it is able to provide a company a much more consistent standard. Now if we talk about machines, so robotic, all right, so it is definitely consistent, because if it's inconsistent, this is considered as a fault, all right, or an abnormal loss from a production's perspective, all right. So definitely, when we talk about process automation, so one of the things is it is able to give businesses a consistent standard. Then number two, all right, it is able, all right, to process, to carry out the process faster as compared to human, and this is the best advantage of it, no errors, all right, because it's mechanical, it's a robotic, unless it's human error. Then now let's talk about what is the benefit, from a business perspective. So obvious advantage will be increase in terms of productivity. Now when we talk about increase in productivity, so the downside is some people argue that, if businesses were to all proceed and progress to automation, so this will actually create more and more unemployment. So how true is this? You see, people's argument that process automation will result in unemployment. Now there are truth, because we are talking about machines replacing human, all right, but you have to be careful is that, it doesn't mean that, it only creates unemployment, because it also creates employment in a new type, a new job opportunity opens up, all right, supporting the process automation. So it creates new employment, but yes, the human that are being replaced by machine are now unemployed, So number two, the second benefit to a company is in terms of efficiency and quality. So this would be the second benefits to a company, because when we go through automation, so it involves capital expenditure, but the aim over here is to improve overall efficiency and also the quality of the product and services offered. Therefore, it will actually lead to higher customer satisfaction. Now, let us look at what about the impact, because we are discussing this concept of process automation from a paper APM point of view. So the impact on management accounting. So now basically all those traditional bookkeeping, documents processing can easily be automated. So basically from a management accountant's perspective, we are actually moving towards advisory role, where we are actually looking at analyzing and interpreting data. So these are things that cannot be replaced or automated as yet. Now, the second concept that we have here from developments in IT is in terms of data visualization. Now, when we talk about data visualization, basically it's a very simple concept of referring to using of charts and diagrams to represent our data. Now, that means we try to provide an analysis, okay, about the data that we have gathered, okay, the information. So now basically it's all about the concept of, you know, picture tells 1,000 words. So if you provide your managers with too much information, so sometimes, you know, the manager may suffer with information overload. When you just dump all the data to them, what we want are conclusions. What your manager needs are the conclusions, the trend. So, you know, this is where data visualization comes in. So we are able to provide a summary about the performance, the trends, the forecasting, you know, to the manager in a form of visual representation of the data. Okay, so the information behind the data. Okay, so they are all represented in a diagram form. So now there are new technology platform to present this data, and one of all these different you know, platform. Okay, they are in fact able to update the charts, the visual, okay, on a real-time basis. Okay, so as and when there are new data being collected, so, you know, the graphs, the chart changes accordingly. Okay, so it is in fact, a lot of them are actually presented in a manner which are rather captivating. Okay, now from a business perspective, so the consideration here is, you know, a company will have to determine the source of the data. So it's essential that they carefully determine where does the source of the data come from. Okay, so the company's ability to extract the data. Okay, so a lot of time company rely on data warehouse. Okay, so this is another concept, okay, where, you know, businesses maintain a data warehouse where they collect data from many different sources, okay, and which is being housed in the company, okay, and being processed. Okay, so a lot of time, okay, our visual data visualization are not really from source but from our data warehouse itself. This is to ensure that, you know, the data has been verified, clean data. Okay, so before it is being reported to the management based on the data warehouse. Okay, now we move on to the next one, okay, which is talking about artificial intelligence. Now, what is actually artificial intelligence? It refers to machine exhibiting human capability. Now, again, this is something not something new, right? Something that we can see in our daily life already. Okay, but, you know, you can say that there are the strong form of artificial AI or the weak form, but I think basically today is still in the weak form. Okay, you know, a lot of things we see on the TV, you know, on movies, I think we are still some way before we actually reach that level of artificial intelligence. But there are already a lot of things that we see that involve artificial intelligence. Like, take for example, okay, people are talking about, you know, driverless car, vehicle being assisted, drivers being assisted by computer aided, you know, driving and etc. You know, where the car is able to keep you in the lane, brake on its own, you know, accelerate, decelerate, and etc. So all on its own. So these are actually example of artificial intelligence. So when we say machine, okay, exhibiting human capability, so basically we are talking about the ability of the machine to think, okay, to learn, and also understand. Okay, so basically from the data that the machine collects, okay, so they are able to analyze and process them very quick one, okay, and in order for them to do thinking, you know, whether they, you know, like for example the vehicle, whether it should stop or not, you know, whether they should go fast, you know, learning, and also learning and understanding. That means something like, you know, we go through a process where the vehicle understand the driver's driving style, okay, and adapt, all right, itself, okay, to the driver. Okay, so that is what we call artificial intelligence. So a lot of all this is what we call as machine learning. Okay, so it involves data analytic. Okay, like for example, you know, we can write a program. Okay, we can write a program and basically your program process the data. Okay, but this is not artificial intelligence. intelligence, because if it's just based on the program, all right, it's not artificial intelligence because the program is not learning, okay, it's not understanding, it's not thinking, okay. But when we say that based after a collections of data, when the machine is able, okay, to improve on its accuracy, okay, so this is when we call machine learning, artificial intelligence, okay. So you know, decisions made are being more and more accurate over time, okay, based on the amount of data that they have collected, okay. So it actually helps a lot of managers in terms of forecasting when we talk about management accounting, okay. And basically it also trigger manager whenever there are unusual transaction, because the artificial intelligence is able to understand that there are actually you know, things that which is unusual, which needs the attention of the management, okay. So this is artificial intelligence, okay. And the last one is Internet of Things. So what is actually Internet of Things? It refers to devices that connects to the internet and send information to the business, okay. So it's, again, we can see these things like, you know, I think our mobile phone, okay, is one of the more best example, okay. Or, you know, when we look at, you know, when you browse websites, certain websites and so on, you know, they collect data, okay. So this is what we call Internet of Things, okay. And in fact, you know, we even see that, you know, sportsmen are using it, you know, all these professional football player, they actually wear some device under their jersey, okay, to collect data, all right, about the distance the individual football player is running, okay, and their heartbeat rate and etc. Okay, now all these informations are then sent, okay, and being processed, okay, and basically it is able to provide an indication to the football club whether which player is at risk of suffering a burnout, okay. So this is to enable the football club or the manager to make better decisions, that, you know, or to trigger the manager that, you know, that this particular football player is at risk of injury. So this is to prevent them from suffering any long-term injury, okay. And these are all essential because they are all professional footballer, highly valued, okay. And, you know, it's not possible for human to do it, because, you know, if the manager were to ask them, you know, will you suffer from a burnout, okay. So I think most of them, which are so highly paid, they will go, they will do their level best, okay. But, you know, sometimes the machine can provides indication. So this is what we call Internet of Things, okay. So it involves the collections of huge data, all right, processing of huge data. So that's why it connects to our big data analytic as well, okay. And from a business perspective, we are talking about understanding customer behavior, okay. And this allows, okay, understanding of the customer behavior to provide important management information for the manager to make proper planning, control, and decision making. So this is how developments of IT affects our management accounting. All right, so that's all for this particular video.